Welcome to Calcutta Races Summer Meeting, first day, Wednesday, 4th March 2020 race preview. First race of the ABHYA handicap to be run over a distance of 2,000 meters. We are looking at number 1, Midnight Phantom. Midnight Phantom's last outing was in race number 139 over 2,000 meters, where Midnight Phantom travelled fourth till it turned fair home and remained in that spot and finished on fourth out of 5 runners. The winner of that race was Rock Sharky, now running in the lower class is Midnight Phantom and being ridden by jockey P. Trevor. Number 2 will be Apna Tamaiga. Apna Tamaiga's last outing was over 1,600 meters in race number 132 this season, where Apna Tamaiga travelled 6th till it turned firm, gradually gained places towards the rail side, and after some hard riding, managed to get on board and finished on 3rd out of 6 runners. Also in the same race, we had number 4, Monte Casino, who finished 6th out of 6, and the winner of that race was Simply Soaring, who won that by a head. Number 3, we're looking at Avellino. Avellino's top class at a Riverdown Impress last outing was quite an eye-catching one, but been unlucky this entire season. Has had 5 starts in all, out of which has finished 2nd in 2 starts and 3rd in 3 starts. Last outing in race number 117 over 2,400 meters. Avellino just about won that race, but got beat. The verdict was short head and head, and Avellino finished 3rd to the winner, that was Inca. We move on to the second race, which is the Surfside Handicap to be run over a distance of 1,100 meters. Number 1 will be Stellanova. Stellanova's last outing was over 1,200 meters in race number 145, where Stellanova travelled 5th till it turned firm, gained 1 place and finished on 4th. Also in the same race, we had number 5. That is Diamond Harbour, who finished on 1 behind to finish on 5th. Also in the same race, we had number 8, ABELSON, who managed to get on board and finished on 3rd. But the winner of that race was Summer Hair, who came up with a real rattle on the stand side and went on to win that by a length. Number 2, we're looking at Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox's last outing was over 1,100 meters in race number 131, where Mr. Fox led about till the distance post and then gradually faded away and finished on 6th out of 9 runners. Also in the same race, we had number 3, Russia Gold, who tried to battle on the rail side and managed to get on board and finished on a close 3rd, I would say, was Russia Gold. Also in the same race, we had number 6, that is Tiburon, who finished on 7th. The winner of that race was Guitar Girl. Number 4 will be TAARRADHIN. TAARRADHIN's had 2 starts this season, finished on 9th in its first start. Last start was quite an eye-catcher in race number 79 over 1,100 meters, where TAARRADHIN travelled 6th till it turned firm, gradually gained places on the stand side and finished on 3rd, a close 3rd, I would say. The winner of that race was Utaka. Number 7, we are looking at Pixel. Pixel's had 3 starts this season, finished off the board in all 3 starts. Last outing being over 1,200 meters in race number 124, where Pixel travelled 6th till it turned firm, gradually fell back and finished on 9th out of 13 runners. Winner of that race was Impressive. That was Advait, who won it by 2.5 lengths. Number 9, we're looking at Uncrowned King. Uncrowned King's had 4 starts this season, finished on off the board in all 4 starts. Last outing being in race number 138 over 1,400 meters, where Uncrowned King travelled 3rd till it turned firm and did come and take over the running in the last 100 meters, but dropped back and finished on a close 4th. That was Uncrowned King. Winner was Christiana. Number 10, we're looking at Miami. Miami's last outing was in race number 134 over 1,100 meters, where Miami tried to make it a pillar-to-post victory, but eventually faded away in the last 150 meters away from home and fell back and finished on 9th out of 12 runners. Winner of that race was Solo Marsh. We now move on to the third race, which is the Red Chief Handicap to be run over a distance of 1,200 meters. Number 1 will be Intense Suspense. Intense Suspense has had 2 starts since it's come down to Calcutta. Last outing being in race number 123 over 1,200 meters, where Intense Suspense travelled 8th till it turned firm and dropped back 1 place and eventually finished on 9th after much efforts. The winner of that race was a runaway winner, that is Fortune Express. Number 2, we're looking at Sheer Force. Sheer Force has had 2 starts this season. Quite an eye-catching run in its first start where it finished on second over 1400 meters. Last outing over the same distance in race number 53. Sheer Force travelled 7th till it turned firm, gradually gained a couple of places and managed to finish on 5th out of 13 runners. Winner was Vice Admiral. Now running 200 meters less is Sheer Force. Number 3 will be Coup de Gras. Coup de Gras' last outing was in race number 112 over 1400 meters, where Coup de Gras travelled 7th till it turned firm and then dropped back rapidly after much efforts and finished on right at the tail end of the field to finish on 14th out of 14 runners. Winner of that race was Bojangles. Number 4, we're looking at Lumos. Lumos' last outing was over 1100 meters in race number 119, where Lumos travelled 4th till it turned firm and then dropped back and finished on 7th out of 8 runners. Winner of that race was Artful, who got that by a length. Number 5, we're looking at Atom. Atom's last outing was in race number 137 over 1400 meters, where Atom travelled 5th till it turned firm, tried to gain places, and did in fact manage to gain a couple of places on the rail side in the last 150 meters. And after some vigorous riding and hard efforts, Atom managed to get on board and finished on 3rd, and the winner of that race was Kimaya. Number 6 will be DANEIRA. DANEIRA's last outing was quite an eye-catcher in race number 131 over 1100 meters, where DANEIRA travelled 3rd till it turned firm and then some vigorous riding in the last 200 meters. Managed to finish on a close 2nd, just half a length behind the winner. That was Guitar Girl, now being ridden by jockey Pete Trevor, is DANEIRA. Keep a watch out for DANEIRA. Number 7 will be Moskova. Moskova has been unlucky in its last 2 starts. Last outing being in race limit 143 over 1400 meters, where Moskova travelled 3rd till it turned firm, and after hard riding and much efforts remained in that spot on the rail side was Moskova, and the winner of that race was Palian. Number 8 will be Whispering Grass. Sedgefield out of Willow Points had 2 starts this season. Surely been knocking on the door. Has got on board in both its outings. First outing finished on 3rd over a mile. Next outing over 1400 meters. Finished a length and a quarter behind the winner. That was Louboutin in race number 81, where Whispering Grass finished on 2nd. Now running 200 meters less is Whispering Grass, being ridden by jockey C.S. Jodha. We move on now to the 4th race, which is the Calorific Plate, to be run over a distance of 1200 meters for maiden horses 3 years old only. Number 1 will be ESSOS. El Johar out of Hava Nagila. It's had 2 starts this season, finished on 3rd in its first start. Last outing was in race number 130 or 1100 meters, where ESSOS travelled 6th till it turned firm, gradually gained a couple of places and finished on 4th out of 14 runners. Also in the same race we had number 4 Timax, who ran a bit green and finished towards the tail end to finish on 11th out of 14. Also in the same race we had number 7 Aphrodite, who finished on 6th. Number 13 Rewrite the Stars, who finished on 8th, and number 14 Scarlet Witch, who finished on 9th. But the runaway winner that day was Phoenicia Mist, who got it by 6 lengths. Number 2, we're looking at Gold Ray. Strong suit out of Goodness Gracious. As that 2 starts this season, finished off the board in its first start over 1200 meters. Last outing being in race number 84 over 1100 meters. Thought that was quite an eye-catching run by Gold Ray, who travelled 9th till it turned firm and then really flew in the final stages of the race and managed to finish on 2nd, 2 3/4 lengths behind the winner. That was Dornish. Number 3 will be Mystic Star. Mystic Star's had 1 start this season in race number 46 over 1200 meters, where Mystic Star travelled 6th till it turned firm, gradually dropped back and finished on 11th out of 11 runners. Winner of that race was Silver Bracelet. Number 6, we're looking at Anika. Arnika's had one start this season in race number 85 over 1200 meters, where Arnika travelled third till it turned for home and then gradually fell back and finished right at the tail end to finish on 8th out of 8 runners. That did travel very wide of the track in the final stages but couldn't get much out of Arnika. The winner of that race was Silver Bracelet. Number 8, we're looking at Cherry Pink. Cherry Pink's last outing was quite an eye-catching one in race number 93 over 1200 meters, where Cherry Pink travelled third till it turned for home and remained in that spot all the way and finished almost 9 lengths behind the winner. And Cherry Pink settled for third. The winner of that race was Code Jester. Number 9 will be Incognito. Incognito's had 2 starts this season. Winning legend out of Foreign Angel. Incognito's finished off the board in both its outings. Last outing being over 1400 meters in race number 101, where Incognito travelled 7th till it turned for home, dropped back 1 place in the final stages and finished right at the tail end to finish on 8th out of 8 runners. Winner was Black Pearl. Number 11 will be KRISHAA'S Choice. KRISHAA'S Choice's last outing was over 1400 meters in race number 77, where KRISHAA'S Choice travelled 5th till it turned for home and remained in that spot after much efforts. And the winner of that race was Santana, who got that by a length of 3/4. Number 12, we're looking at Shanti. Decado out of Relentless. One start to the season in race number 31 of 1100 meters. Did travel 7th till it turned for home. Gradually gained a couple of places and managed to finish on 5th after running a bit erratic in the final stages. But held on to the 5th spot was Shanti. The winner of that race was Copacabana. We now move on to the feature of the day, the one that we've been waiting for, the Calcutta St. Leger 2020 for Indian horses 4 years old only, to be run over a distance of 2,800 meters. Number 1 will be ABHYA GAMA, multi-dimensional at a Violet Honey. Last outing being over 2,400 meters in race number 110, where ABHYA GAMA travelled actually tried to make it a pillar-to-post victory and giving number 3, JAIVANT, who's also in the same race, a tough-fought battle and finished 3/4 lengths behind the winner. That was stablemate JAIVANT, who actually came on top in that race and just about won it from ABHYA GAMA. Number 2, we're looking at Inca, air support out of Systematics at 2 blinder starts in its last 2 starts. Being first one being in race number 105 over 2,000 meters, where Inca came out and won, making it a pillar-to-post victory. Last outing was further impressive over 2,400 meters in race number 117. Did try to make it a pillar-to-post victory, but then was overtaken in the last 200 meters and then fought back was Inca and came out and won that race by a short head. An absolute miracle there was by Inca. Also in the same race, we had number 4, Roll Call, who finished 2nd in that same race. Number 5, we're looking at Shivalik Sight. Samit out of C. Sham. Shivalik Sight's last outing was over the same distance of 2,800 meters in the Queen's Cup this season in race number 114, where Shivalik Sight led all the way, trying to make it a pillar-to-post victory, but shifted off the straight course in the final stages. Travelled very wide and managed to finish on 3rd was Shivalik Sight, but the winner that day was too good. That is point to prove. We move on to the 6th race, which is the Serendine Cup, to be run over a distance of 1,600 meters. Number 1 will be Cold Frontier. Cold Frontier's last outing was over 2,000 meters in race number 139, where Cold Frontier travelled 5th till it turned for home and remained in that spot after much efforts. Also in the same race, we had number 5, Gold Bond, who finished on 2nd, 2 lengths behind the winner. That was Raksharki. Number 2, we're looking at Arjuna. Arjuna's had 2 starts this season, finished 10th in both its outings, last outing being over 1,400 meters in race number 144, where Arjuna travelled 10th out of 14 runners till it turned for home. remained in that spot after much efforts. Practically no show there by Arjuna. Winner of that race was New Moon, who got that by a neck. Number 3 will be Tough Enough. Tough Enough sat 4 starts this season, finished on 4th in its first start, then came out and won its second start over 1100 meters. Third start finished on 3rd. Last start over 1200 meters in race number 123, which you're watching in your screen. Tough Enough finished on 5th after traveling 10th till it turned home. After much efforts, finished on 5th out of 11 runners. Winner was Fortune Express. Now going over a mile is Tough Enough. Number 4 will be Valeria. Valeria's last outing was over the same distance of 1600 meters in race number 128, where Valeria travelled 3rd till it turned home, gradually gained places towards the rail side, and after some vigorous riding and a couple of reminders, Valeria got that race by a length and a half by beating 7 Step. Also in the same race we have number 6, Dancing Lord, who finished on 6th, and as I mentioned, number 7, 7 Step, running in the same race, who finished on 2nd behind Valeria in race number 128. Number 8 is Simply Soaring. Surely been the horse of the season for me till now. He's had 4 starts and has been unbeaten in all 4 starts. Is Simply Soaring, air support out of Sabre Dance. Last outing being very, very impressive in race number 132 over 1600 meters, where Simply Soaring travelled 5th out of 6 runners till it turned home, gradually gained places and just about won that race by a head by beating Excelsior. Never know, can repeat it again, is Simply Soaring. We move on to the 7th and last race, which will be the Miss Excellence Handicap for horses in Class 4. 5 eligible to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. Number 1 will be Beatles Bible. Beatles Bible's had 3 starts this season and finished off the boat in all 3 starts. Last outing being in race number 137 over 1400 meters, where Beatles Bible, after much efforts, finished on 9th out of 9 runners. And also in the same race, we had number 3, ROETHKE, who was quite a decent favourite in that race, where ROETHKE travelled right at the back end till it turned home, gradually gained places and finished on 2nd, 1.25 lengths behind the winner. That was Kimaya. Also in the same race, we had number 4, that is Demonstrate, who finished on 5th. Number 5, that is Rare Bird, who finished 1 behind to finish on 6th. And number 7, AIRLIFT, who finished on 8th. But as I mentioned, Kimaya was the winner of that race. Number 2 will be FANCOURT. FANCOURT's last outing was over 1400 meters in race number 112, where FANCOURT travelled 3rd till it turned home, rapidly fell back and finished on 8th out of 14 runners. Also in the same race, we had number 6, Aquaresa, who finished right at the tail end, towards the tail end, I would say, finished on 10th out of 14 runners. Winner was Bojangles. Number 8 will be Bang Bang. Bang Bang's last outing was over 1200 meters in race number 145, where Bang Bang travelled 8th till it turned home and actually travelled very wide of the track in the final stages of the race was Bang Bang, but managed to finish on 5th out of, 6th out of 14 runners was Bang Bang. Winner was Summer Air. Number 9 will be Leslie, Phoenix Tower Lunar Quest, last outing being over 1600 meters in race number 118. Quite an eye-catching run there by Leslie. Travelled 3rd till it turned home, was a bit unlucky towards the rail side after some hard riding and a couple of reminders. Fell short by just a neck to Artiste Royale, and Leslie settled for 2nd spot. Also in the same race, we had number 10, Windchaser, who finished on 5th. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Hope to see you at the races, as always, tomorrow afternoon.